Good morning. Welcome to All Things Kitchen. My name is Jennifer. Welcome if you're new here. If you're not new here, welcome back. This morning I am going to be doing just kind of a breakfast skillet, and it's something that I have made for years, and I love it. I love it. When you go to a restaurant and you get kind of all the breakfast things in one bowl. And that's kind of what I'm going to be doing today. When I was younger, my grandfather used to have a dish that he would call a mess. And that's where this stems from, is from my PawPaw's mess, breakfast mess. So the ingredients are a little bit different, not quite exactly the way that PawPaw made it when I was young, but delicious all the same. So I'm going to bring you down while I chop up some ingredients for it. I just put some bacon fat in my pan, and we're going to start with the potatoes and get those started while I chop up some of the other ingredients. I'll bring you down. I was just getting ready to reset the camera, and I wanted to show you these breakfast radishes that I just pulled out of my garden. So I've had a couple of cherry tomatoes that I've pulled out and eaten. I went out this morning looking for some cherry tomatoes for my breakfast, and they're all still green. But I was able to pull these radishes, and they're just beautiful. Wanted to share. So this is going to be another thing where there's not really a recipe, just going to have you pull inspiration from this. And I want a bigger knife. So I am starting off with about 3 potatoes that I am just going to cut up into cubes, and this would be something that you would just want to do to the preference of your size of how you want them cooked. I like mine to get crispy on all edges and obviously cooked all the way through. So looks like there's a couple bad spots on the bottom of that potato, the tip of that potato. Let me grab a compost bowl. Now, I grabbed my non-stick skillet, and I meant to grab my stainless steel, but that's okay. I'm not going to dirty up another pan. You could do this in a cast iron skillet. That would be really nice. You'd get a really nice crust on that. And stainless steel. Like I said, I accidentally pulled out my non-stick pan this morning, and so we'll just go with it. Do you have any childhood dishes? I have a couple. Very simple, simplistic dishes from my childhood that whenever I make them, I definitely think of the person who inspired it. One is this one from my PawPaw, and one from my dad. And my dad's is pretty simple. This one has a lot more ingredients than my dad's, but with my dad, it was just grits, grits, cheese, and egg. Kind of mix them all together in one bowl. Oh my gosh, so filling. So if you go to try that, be careful. That is so filling. And you will be stuffed. But again, simple, but delicious. And is it the food? The food's good, but it's probably more the memories. You know, I don't even know what I was thinking when I cut that one. So I'm just going to probably fast forward you through all this dicing. Actually, you know what? I'm just about done with the potato. So I am going to make sure that I have enough fat over here in my pan. I think I want some more. And then I just have some bacon grease that I have saved. I cleaned and saved from the last time I made bacon. So we'll get that by the time I'm finished cutting up this potato. That will have heated up. Let's put these ingredients off to the side so I can move on board over here. So my bacon grease is nice and hot. As you can see, it's bubbling away. Yep, splatter. And that was probably a little more than this pan needed. Or maybe not. I am going to use my seasoning salt on this. And we want to make sure that we are flavoring each layer. This thing has some chunks in it. I need to run this through a sieve to break up those larger pieces. I don't know if you can see some of those larger pieces there. But just going to get this all coated. I think, along with my seasoning salt, I have some jalapeno salt I'm going to add in here also. Let me see if I can find that. Don't use that as often. Oh, here it is. It'll be nice when I get my fresh jalapenos in my garden. I'm on my last jar of cowboy candy or candied jalapeno. And I made a small batch the first time I made it because I wasn't sure if I would like it, and I more than liked it. So, all right, so I'm going to turn the temperature up on that a little bit and let that cook and bring it back over here. I do have some peppers already chopped in the freezer, but I need to use up these fresh ones before they go bad. And I have some growing in the garden. My husband was so sweet. The last time I cut up these peppers, I obviously had a whole bunch of seeds from them, and he went out in the garden and just put like a whole handful of seeds in one of our planters. And the germination rate was very high, which is unusual from store-bought peppers. These are store-bought peppers. Especially, I think the last time I had bought these, they were from another country. And coming in from another country, you expect them to be irradiated. So I didn't think the seeds would germinate. But they are. And I have several this size, this like the small green peppers right now on there. They will turn colors as they ripen. And I'm very excited about that. There's more plants than should be in that planter, but I just don't have the heart to cut them back because it's so pretty. I'm a fairly new gardener, so I get excited when anything is successful. And last year I had a fairly successful tomato harvest. I have no idea what kind of tomatoes they were because the seeds I had planted were in packages that were for spinach and something else. I don't remember what the other package was that I planted in 2 separate planters. And they weren't spinach and they weren't the other thing that I tried to plant. They were tomatoes, which was so odd that 2 packages that I planted side by side came up so wrong that they were tomatoes. So I transplanted them and had a very successful harvest, and that's what I made my, that's a lot of onions for this amount. Ooh, I don't think I can put all these in this breakfast. That's okay. I will set some aside for another dish. Got to talking and wasn't paying attention to really what I was doing. Let me check buying potatoes over here. All right, potatoes are doing good. I have a little container here that I've got some white onions in, so I'm just going to throw these red onions. I can't get the lid off. Created a suction. Put these red onions in here with them. I also have some pre-cooked sausage that I pulled out of the freezer this morning. And so that will probably be the last of that sausage. So I'll need to get some more, cook up some more. I've got some bacon in there I need to cook up. I don't know that I'm going to get to that today. Put that in compost. And put this. There we go. What are some of your go-to breakfast meals that are not just simple, cutting up an egg or something like, or frying an egg, not cutting up. I'm doing all this cutting, so. I'm not going to put the radish in the dish itself. These will just be on the side. So I just want to eat these while they're freshly picked from the garden. I'm going to try one. I like these because they don't have quite the bite that the round radishes have. Nice. Definitely need to get out there and plant some more. I may need to buy more of those seeds. I don't think I have too many more of those seeds. You want to make sure that these potatoes get nice and crispy. Right now they're kind of at an in-between stage where they're cooking in the middle. And I prefer them crispy, I should say. How you want to cook them is up to you, but I definitely prefer them crispy. So I'm trying to just make sure that they're in a single layer. So I said I was going to fast forward you through chopping up the veggies, and then I ended up talking. So I'll probably just fast forward through the cooking of the potatoes. Okay, I'm going to set these aside. Oh, that's hot. I'm going to pour these potatoes into a bowl and put a little bit more bacon grease in here. Or onions and potatoes. I'm sorry, onions and peppers. It's just looking at how delicious these potatoes look in the bowl. A little bit of salt. And a little bit of, I prefer white pepper. A little bit. Saute these up a little bit. Now I do have that sausage that I had mentioned. Plus I did find a couple of strips of bacon. So I'm going to go ahead and add those in here just for a little bit more protein. And I'm just going to saute these up for just a few minutes just to soften them up. I do want a little bit of texture still left in them if I can. So I'm going to add my pre-cooked bacon and sausage in here. And that was bacon and sausage that I cooked and then just put in the freezer. Now I love poached eggs, and usually whenever I order a skillet, if we go out to a breakfast like this, I usually get poached eggs on it. I don't particularly care for the way that restaurants can't get a fried egg perfectly the way that I like it. So I just get a poached egg and it's delicious. I like to do fried eggs in these because the whites of the eggs gets down into all the crevices, and when you go to pull it out, it's like this perfectly portioned meal with the egg just cooked right into all the other ingredients. And my mouth is watering. It's so good. Oh, I think my PawPaw would be proud. That alone just looks delicious. I also have some feta cheese that I'm going to be putting on top. You could put any cheese that you like. In the past, I have normally done like cheddar or Colby Jack, just kind of sprinkled on the top. But I'm doing feta today. Whatever is your preference. I'll go ahead and put the potatoes back in there. Get my hot pad. This is hot as hot. I don't use this non-stick very much, and I always forget that the handles get hot. I wonder if I have something green I can put in here. I think we can see Got some frozen spinach I'm going to throw in here, which I have never done that before. I've never put spinach in this before, but I feel like it needs something green. So it's going to add a little bit of moisture into it, which I really don't want, but we'll see how that turns out. Got my toast. Ooh, again, that handle's hot. Got my toaster out. I was going to make some English muffins with this, but I think this is going to be plenty of food that I don't need to add bread to it. Oh, doesn't that look good? Just a little bit more salt and pepper. It's not a whole lot. I don't know if you can see, my salt shaker is only open to, let me see, maybe about 3 holes on there. So it may look like I'm putting a lot in there because I'm shaking it a lot, but it's only 3 tiny holes that are open. Now, you could, at this point, crack open some eggs in a bowl, whisk them up, add a little bit of cream, pour it over here, and then you've got yourself a frittata. Stick it in the oven. But I'm not doing a frittata today. I'm doing a skillet, breakfast skillet. So I'm going to give this a taste and see where we're at. And see if it's time to throw some eggs on there. See if my husband wants any. Get some of the, little bit of everything. Red onion. See if I can chase that down. Give this a little taste. I love this so much. Does need something. Put some more seasoning salt in there. That was about a teaspoon. Might have been that extra moisture from the spinach. Try it again. All right. Now, gotta find my lid. Found it. Got the cheese. Let me go ask my husband if he wants some. Okay, so this is just for me right now. So I'm just going to put 1 egg in there. And actually, let me make a little egg pocket so it can kind of settle in there. And the nice thing about this is, like I said, when the egg kind of settles into all the cracks and crevices, it makes its own portion. And then the rest I can just take out, put that in the refrigerator, and when I'm ready to make my next portion, I can just heat it back up in the skillet and do the exact same thing. So I am going to put a little bit of feta here in this area. And then I'm going to put the lid on it to let this egg cook. It's going to be delicious. Ouch, that was hot. I knew it was going to be. All right, so this egg has cooked for about 5-6 minutes. I'm just gonna kind of portion off. I just turned the stove off, the stove top off. I'm gonna plate this up. And all those bits that are on the bottom right now are nice and crispy. Push that off while I make a mess. Push that off to the side. That looks delicious and steaming hot. So I like to break open the yolk. See that? Did you hear that kind of, my fork popped through that? That's that crust on the bottom that the egg makes when cooking this in the pan. This is kind of a big bite, and it's very hot. I'd love to hear about some of your breakfasts, maybe family traditions, maybe what they are. Maybe you've changed it up a little bit. Let's see. This is always so good. The sausage, the crispy bits from frying extra on the bottom of the pan, the richness of that egg and the egg yolk just kind of oozing into all that goodness. I have a little radish. So nice and fresh, right out of the garden. I am going to eat that whole plate. It may look like a big plate, and it kind of is. That was really good. I hope you pulled some inspiration from this. I'd love to hear about some of your traditions, your families, some memories, things that you may do exactly the same, because there's no way that you could do it any better than what PawPaw did it or what Dad did it. I'd love to hear those stories from you. I appreciate you coming along with me today. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great week. And I'll see you next time. Take care, friends.